watching Abundance Show on Global Abundance Organization Television, GAO TV. We welcome everyone to another episode of Abundance Show where we explore incredible ways people are creating a better world. Today, we are honored to have a truly special guest, a change maker, a volunteer, a working for the earth to make it, to unleash abundance of health, wealth, and happiness. And please welcome Alina Thorack. Alina is a passionate and experienced product manager who has masterfully merged her deep expertise in technology and software with a profound dedication to increasing a possible global impact. In her professional life, she works for an organization where she is on the front line of driving sustainable and impactful payment solutions, creating the essential financial tools that empowers change makers and non-profits across the globe to fund their vital work. But her commitment does not stops there. Alina also dedicates her time and leadership as head of South Europe City Events team for Forward.Earth, a global network focused on climate and sustainability. There she leads a team of over 20 volunteers, leaders across more than 13 cities, focusing on what matters most: building community and bringing people together to create real and tangible impact. She represents a new wave of leadership, one that understands that the tool of technology and the power of human connections are the cornerstones of building a more sustainable and abundant future. Alina, it is an absolute pleasure and honor to have you on our show. Welcome aboard, and how are you, lady?
Thank you so much, Safar, and thank you so much. That was such a nice introduction of me. So really appreciate it. I'm good, despite in Germany today the weather is not so good. It's raining. Summer's hiding a bit in these days, but still, it's a good day. Happy to be here and have this chat with you.
I'm really honored. This is your first podcast, and you honored me. We were just talking, and it was just a cold call. And you are so gracious to be featured on my show. And thank you so much. Okay, Alina, my first question is always about one's life journey. How it has been, and how are you, and where are you heading to?
Okay, so yeah, maybe let's start from the beginning. As I mentioned, I live in Germany. I was also born and raised here, close to beautiful Düsseldorf. In case someone ever heard about it, maybe it's to make it a bit easier. It's close to Frankfurt. I think that's more of a famous city in Germany. Yeah, and I grew up here in the suburbs. Together with my sister and after school, so of course I went first to grounds, so I don't know how early I should start, so let me start really at the beginning. So I went to elementary school. I think that's pretty common. Then I went to high school, and then we have different ways of education in Germany, so there are different school systems. And yeah, I joined the one where you at the end have something called A levels. So like Abitur is the German word for it, where you kind of like have the highest education form to be then eligible to go to university, for example. So that's what I did, which is pretty much, yeah, I think for many people like the standard way in Germany. And then after that, I wasn't really sure what to do after. Like, I was a bit lost. I mean, I think when you're so young, between 17 and 18, it's always hard to make such a life decision on, okay, what I want to do with the rest of my life. So I had no idea. So I decided to go abroad first. I then was an au pair in New Zealand for a year. So I I looked up this agency. There are many agency online that help you do this, where they kind of send you to another family abroad. So I wanted to try out something where I was really far away from my home, so out in the unknown, kind of, but in an English-speaking country, so I could improve my English skills. And I thought, instead of work and travel, au pair is a nice concept for me, because there I am with a family. I'm not all by myself. I have like a safe basis, kind of, and then I can support them with their children, get to know another country, get to know another culture, already have some contacts. And yeah, that's how I ended up in New Zealand for a year, which was super nice. Also, at the beginning, I would say it was a bit challenging. Um, yeah, because it was just a different way of living for me, and I was used to live in a certain way. And there, of course, it's different, and you are far away from home, you're far away from your family. So, of course, this is not always easy. Also, back then, there was no WhatsApp or WhatsApp calls or something. So, we were just Skyping, if you still remember Skype, or yeah, writing emails. But yeah, I was getting used to it quite fast. I was always interested in getting to know different cultures, getting to know different countries, and I think it always helps you to grow your character and to get to know different perspectives and to be more, I would say, self-sufficient. So with these challenges, you grow also a lot. So that was super cool, and I lived with this family for almost a year. I think in the end it was 10 months. I took care of two little boys while I was with the family. And then in my free time, I just explored the country and thought about still, okay, what do I want to do with my life further? So, what do I want to study? And yeah, to find this, maybe I would take nowadays a different approach. But back then, I just did a lot of research online, looked a lot up on what kind of study possibilities are out there. I knew that what I didn't like, so that was easy. I didn't want to become like a lawyer or something. I found that, yeah, studying law, I found it quite tough or a bit boring. For becoming a doctor, I always found the theoretical part super interesting, but the practical part is not for me. I hate needles, so I think I could not be a good doctor in practice. And then the other interest I always had was working creatively. So, but becoming an artist nowadays is also not easy. And I was worried that I wouldn't find a good job after this and make not enough for myself to make a living, because I always aim to be independent. So I always had in the back of my mind, okay, what kind of job can I have later on that earns me a sustainable and good living, where I'm not relying on someone else? And that's why I always wanted to find a place that would fit all these interests. And in the end, I then studied design management for media and communication. So I saw this online, that a university in Germany is offering this new study course for Bachelor of Arts. The only hurdle there was it was a private university, and they are unfortunately quite costly. So, yeah, I wasn't sure if I should do it or not. But then in the end, I thought, okay, maybe it's a good investment. So maybe I have to cut short a bit on my expensive. Maybe I have to work in my free time on top of it. But then it will pay me back, because I got a good education with this. And I applied for an, how do you say, like a sponsorship. Like sometimes universities give out these like special contracts where you get then financial support from them if you kind of work hard for it and have good results. And thanks to my good school results, I got one of these apprenticeship. No, what's the right? I don't know. I don't know the right English word, but in the end, they supported me financing the studies. And the other, for the other part, I took a credit from a bank. Like in Germany, there are these special study credits where the bank would loan you money, and then you can finish your studies, and then once you start working, you pay it back. So that was the whole idea. Yeah, during those studies, another reason why I chose this university was because they would also offer again a semester abroad at a partner university. And since I just came back from New Zealand, I wanted to have another opportunity to go abroad again and get to know the next country and live somewhere else to get to know another culture. So in my third semester, I was able to go to Bangkok in Thailand, and I spent, I think, 7 months there and studied one semester there. That was also super nice because, again, very different culture from the German one, but people were so nice, so friendly. I came back ever since many times because the country is just great. I can totally recommend. Then
Uh,
after this, please interrupt me if there are questions or if I'm talking too much.
no, 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 no. I want you to. This is your show. You can go to any length you want to. Please, but
Okay,
tell us anything you want to tell anyone, anything you want to inspire about. Yeah.
okay, cool. So yeah, after this, I started then to study. When I was done with my bachelor's, yeah, it's also quite common. Like either you start working right now already, or you would do a master on top. And I decided to change university and do a master then in international management. Looking back at it, it was just, yeah, I mean the study, the topic itself, I wouldn't say gave me so much, but the reason why I chose this master at that university was because it was a like a dual degree. They would support you finding a job already. So I was working then already full time, and in my kind of like part time and the weekends I would do the studies. And this was a, I thought, a great way to kind of like speed up a bit in the career path to gain experience already while still studying, because often after you finish studying, many companies say you need to have experience and an internship doesn't count so much. So I was like, okay, this is kind of unfair. So I tried to do this trick to work full time and then have the studies on the side. And with this setup, I was able then, when I finished my master's, I had the master's done, but I also had already 2 years of job experience. Plus, the company also took me over, so I stayed with them. And yeah, by that time, honestly, I was still a bit lost in what I want in life because I was just following, like, it just kind of like all fell together. And that's how I ended up in this IT company. And back then, I was working for a company doing fraud prevention online, which I thought also was super cool because it's kind of like an online police to make sure that fraudsters don't have so many chances to exploit companies, exploit banks, etc. And this was where my first steps into IT and software. So I was doing there then I was a project manager, and then from this I kind of grew more and more into like the whole IT universe, thanks to my colleagues also. And at some point, one of the product owners left. So, a product owner is basically the person that has the team of developers together and together with them builds kind of the software product. So this person is responsible to create the roadmap, to think about, okay, what would make sense to build in this piece of software next, and also kind of like to translate the needs of the customers into what we should build, and then also translates back the questions of the developers and their feedback and what they build, that the customers can use it. So it's kind of like in the middle. And yeah, I in the end ended up there by accident, but I learned fast that I really like the role. And yeah, and then it grew from there. At some point I was like, okay, maybe I should do another swap in the company. I've been with this company for 4 years now, so to take the next step in my career, let's go to another one. And then while I was at this other company, I think there I was then also for another 4 years more or less, I started to think like, okay, now I have achieved this. I have a let's say reliable job. I have a reliable source of income. But what's next? Is that it? And I just follow this career path now and maybe become at some point head of product or team lead or whatsoever. And then when I'm 40 or 50 or something, I can be a CPO or um, company owner or something, but I felt like there was something missing. I was missing the sense of it. Like, what am I really contributing to? Is the company I work for, does it make the world a better place, or doesn't it matter at all? And I felt, okay, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, I felt a bit lost then, honestly. And then I took some courses where I got coached for um, creating my own business. So I also explored that way. But there I also noticed fast, okay, it's not so much for me because it's so stressful. You have pressure all the time. You have to you worry all the time about your business, because if the business doesn't work, you won't have income and you have a lot of problems basically. So for me, maybe also growing up in a German household, security and safety is always important. And I figured out, okay, no, I want to stay an employee and work for someone, but I want that this company is contributing to something good in the world. And that's where I made like the change. And that's when I started to think, okay, while I'm looking for this company where I feel like I'm valued and what I do contributes to something good, what is stopping me to do something already on a volunteer basis? And that's when I started to join like this whole volunteer setup. I also met the founder, Matt, from Forward, and because they also have a great job platform. So I was honestly looking on their site also to find jobs in sustainability or environment protection, climate resilience, because these were the things that interested me, because I feel we are doing so much harm to our planet. And if we continue at this pace, at some point, it's not livable for us anymore. And I wanted to change that. So at the beginning, I changed with myself. For example, I'm taking care of my garbage and waste management, trying not to use so much plastic, trying, really important, not to leave plastic in the nature. If I go to the beach and I want to enjoy it, I should appreciate it. So take my rubbish with me, and maybe take also the other stuff I found on the beach and take it also with me. So, like, to give something back. And I also started to change my diet. So nowadays I'm a vegan, because unfortunately animal exploitation at this level we do nowadays is really harmful for our climate. And on top, it's also harmful for the animals. And on top, it's also not good for your body to eat so much meat as we do nowadays. So yeah, I also made this change. So this was like on a personal level what I felt I can do. But then I wanted to do more than that. And then I thought, okay, let's also change the job. And while I'm looking for the right job, I can also do some volunteer work. And yes, as I said, I met and his company Forward is working on bringing together climate enthusiasts and professionals and connect them across the globe. And I thought that's a really cool idea, and maybe I can contribute there. And we had like some discussions on what I could do. And in the end, since I'm like organizing and communicating all day already in my main role, I'm really good at it. So I could also do it in my voluntary job. And that's how I then ended up becoming this regional manager for Forward for South Europe. And even though it's like the title sounds so fancy, but it's just like, it's really simple. I'm basically just helping the local leads in the cities to build their local climate communities. So I'm trying to enable them, I'm trying to help them, trying to brainstorm what kind of events they could do, giving them the tools they need, etc. And yeah, being a bit like the middleman between the city leads and Forward, like I am in my main job, the middleman between tech and customers. So there's a pattern, definitely. Yeah, I think that was fast and short the whole my bit of my life story. And where I am right now, I think I like it a lot. The only way I could improve it would be to one day maybe make enough money that I can work less and spend more time by the sea. I would enjoy that a lot, or spend more time with animals. And yeah, that's it. That's me.
Wow, that's awesome, and that's really inspirational, and you got rich experience, a lot of memories, and those old memories are really refreshing, and one has a lot to learn, and that was my reason that I was inspired by both of your work. What are you doing? Whatever you are doing for your company to make your living is again is doing amazing thing, and but what you're doing for forward, that's the real reason that we are sitting together right now. So, what's the main inspiration for meeting Matt?
I think it was just, like sometimes in life when you start to be on the right track, kind of like the universe just throws the right things at you. And that was just such a coincidence. I was like starting to explore, okay, what possibilities I have in terms of looking for a new job, in terms of looking for a voluntary role. And I found Forward first of all as a platform where they also post jobs in climate and sustainability. So that's how it caught my attention. And then honestly, I don't even remember how Matt and I got together. I think maybe there was a voluntary role, or maybe he saw me signing up for the platform and then he reached out and saying, hey, we still need support. And then it was a bit of back and forth because there were so many roles back then to fill, and we were thinking, okay, what could be the right one for me? I remember I was wanting to do something else before, but they already had filled this role. And I also remember I said I cannot be a city lead because I'm traveling too much. I have too much other responsibilities. So if I want to help, I need to be flexible and ideally just need my laptop to do it. And that's then how we kind of like saw, okay, maybe I can support with the management of the Europe City Leads, because Europe was growing so much back then that we had to split it a bit. And now we have one regional manager for North Europe, and then the other one became me.
Amazing. Okay, thanks for the such insightful reply. Okay, yeah, Alina, you're looking after this forward community, and your jurisdiction is southern Europe. So, how about your jurisdiction? Which countries do you look for, you take care of, and what exactly you do for the community?
So I'm looking after. There's Portugal, Spain, Italy, Germany. Okay, now you can. Well, we can discuss if that's North or Southern Europe, but we had to draw the line somewhere. um, there's also freshly Greece joined as well. France is also there. So yeah, more or less these countries. I think I forgot maybe one or two. I don't remember. And then in these countries, usually in the bigger cities, we have a local community, because what Forward does is they have this amazing online platform. You can totally check it out. I will provide the link, I guess, after our call to you, Safar. So you can join this online community. It's free. And you can also there then make a lot of use of all the online tools they have. But nowadays, since everything is online, we feel it's also good to meet in person from time to time. And if there's a local community, you can actually do things like you can network, you can do cleanups of your river, park, whatsoever. You can get together with startups that are in your city and see if they need support, or if you know someone that could, like, you can benefit from each other, but in a much better way if you meet in person. And that's the whole idea of these city leads. So what I do is I'm trying to recruit city leads for the cities I'm responsible for, that are living in the city, so they're able to organize an on-site event in person. So where people that are interested in climate, in sustainability can get together physically, share a drink, share their roles, what they're doing, what they're trying to achieve, what they're looking for, and then yeah, we take it from there basically. And my job is in the end to support these city leads by giving them the right tools to organize the events, by managing the local WhatsApp groups together with them, by finding them support if they need support. Um, by yeah, and then in the end, I try to check in with them. Nowadays, I would say realistically once a month because it just became too many people. So I cannot do it every week because then I would have to hold like 20 calls a week, and my time is also limited at some point. Um, yeah, and then we organize a lot through WhatsApp, honestly, and I check in with them where they need support. I gather their feedback. I gather the pictures they took from their events, bring them back to forward to promote our newsletter or share relevant information that the city leads need, and then try to inspire them also with good ideas for events like what they could do with their local community. This could be, I don't know, like a coaching session or a plastic-free picnic, like can be anything in the end. So always depends a bit also on the people of the city, what they're looking for.
Elena, can you get me three events story, like the latest three events that you've hosted for the community?
So in the end, it's not me personally fostering them. I'm helping basically the city lead who's then holding the event. And there is one colleague, Jael, in, I hope I say her name correctly. I always say it wrong. I think it's Jael, but I hope she doesn't like hit me when she sees this and giving a terrible naming. She did a really cool event the other day where she did a coaching for self-taught leadership for women that want to do a startup for like any sustainable startup. So that was very specific, but also super interesting. Then there's Matt himself. He always does these climate networking co-working sessions where he just says, "Hey guys, this week I'm here and there. If you want to join me, just let's sit together and work on individual or joint topics." So I think that's also a really nice format. Um, then now that it's summer, there was this climate walk another city did where they just would go instead of sitting in a too hot cafe or bar, they would just go on a walk together. And yeah, personally, seeing always so many garbage and waste in beautiful nature areas, I think my personal favorite event, if I would have to organize one here in my own city, would be that we would just go for like a bit of a cleanup walk, like discuss, connect, and in the meantime, collect a bit of rubbish.
That's really amazing and inspiring. Okay, which where I live, this is Pakistan, and in drought we die thirsty, and in floods we die by drowning into the water. What can your community do to save us?
I think, well, the community of Ford, it's like a bit of an enabler also to self-help because you know best what's happening in your country. For example, from Germany, yes, we see the news in there, but it's always the media. It's often not the real picture. And if we, for example, talk about resilience against flooding or against hunger or against heat, like there are so many great companies and people that are professional enough to work on it, and if someone from your country you want to do something about it and you need support, I would for example always suggest join forward. We have a lot of resources. There are free online classes in so many topics, so many panel talks when it comes to waste management, resilience, also carbon removal industry, like so many things. Whatever interests you, just join it. And also post, like there's a section called ask and offer. So you could post, hey, what do you have to give? Like what you can maybe support other people with. In my case, for example, it was time to organize the local leads or to share about healthy eating, stuff like that. So just what I have to offer basically. But I can also post there what I what I need help with. So often, for example, startups trying to tackle a certain problem, like fire because of heat, like how can you prevent that from happening? Or a startup, there's this really cool one that is, I think nowadays not a startup anymore. It's what was the name of it? I think the ocean cleanup. So where they install these really cool machines to try to remove all the garbage from the rivers and the garbage from the seas, something like that. If you're an NGO and you just simply want to support people in your neighborhood that are suffering from XYZ, but you need, I don't know, whatever, like you need funding or you need support because you don't know how to set it up correctly, you can always post these needs in this network and maybe someone will reply because they actually went through this with their own startup and can give you some tips, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, my next question is: do you work for fundraising too?
Yes, indirectly. So I work for a company that provides software for online fundraising.
So, if you got to teach me, how would you teach me to fundraise funds?
So I think this is also depending always a bit on from where you raise funds. So of course I can now speak a bit more for Europe. What are the trends there? For example, I would say it's always great to start fundraising also online because the new generations and the ones following and also even like how you say like boomers or millennials, all these generations, it's normal to be online now, it's normal to pay online, so it should also be normal to raise your funds online. And when doing that, of course, it's a great way to get funds if you make it convenient. Same with online shopping, you know, the easier the checkout process, the more likely people will buy the product in the end. And also, if you provide a great experience doing fundraising and it's easy to donate to your company, then it's also easier for you to raise funds.
Wow! And for that, the best, the most important thing is credibility. So, how this forward community builds the credibility?
I think it's by being just like honest. Like, for example, Forward right now, it's not a company, no one of us gets paid to do that, so we all do it because we want to do a change in the world. And I think this is, for me at least, this was one also of the reasons why I would join, because I was like, okay, here there's no background thought, there's just really the wish, okay, we want to create something together. And that's why we built this together, and we are not asking much back except seeing then the result of people getting together trying to make a change, and we kind of be happy because we can enable this. Same for our call, Safar, like in the end, you know, you reached out, I was like, okay, if this is something I can do to help him, you know, why not? So that's for me always like a great form of credibility, because it's just coming, you know, from the heart that you really want to do a positive change and not asking anything back. The same for Forward. It's they're trying to make an impact and they're trying to grow, and they're super transparent about it. They say, okay, we're gonna do this and that, and it's gonna happen. And like also Matt, for example, the founder, he's like super approachable. Of course, nowadays it's getting so big for him, and he has so many requests. I always wonder how he can do it, but yeah, that's, I think, for me what credibility is about: being honest and being transparent, and this already gives you great credibility.
Alina, what makes you happy?
Good question. I think I think there are many things that can make me happy. I'm quite flexible. I'm a happy person by heart, I would say. What makes me extra happy, I would say, good food. I love to cook. My friends, my partner, like spending time with them is always so precious. So definitely those things. And if I can be by the sea and dive and see a clean environment or add something, like for example, every time I go dive, I always try to pick some rubbish out of the sea that I discovered. And just that makes me happy already because I felt like, okay, I left the place I visited a bit better than it was before I came. And with this, I'm happy.
Okay, what empowers you?
Mm, good question. You have tough questions. um, I would say always thinking, okay, if there's a will, there's also a way. So if I want to achieve something, I will always try to find a way to do it. And nowadays, I feel the internet is a great source of help. It's used for so many bad things, but it's also used for so many good things because knowledge nowadays is almost freely available. You just have to put in your time and research, and you can teach yourself so many things. So I think that's a great way to empower. And then also, yeah, my friends and family or speaking to strangers. So I noticed a lot during the last 2 years that if you just put out your message and what you're passionate about, like suddenly it will open up new paths for you. And suddenly you will meet someone that say, oh, you should totally talk to this person. Maybe they can help. Or, oh, I know what you're trying to achieve. I'm trying to do the same. Let's try together. And that's always I think a great way to be empowered, that you know that you're not alone out there and there's always someone else that already achieved what you are trying to achieve, and there's always someone willing to help you. You just have to find the right people.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, if given the resources and given time and you're like you have ample time, ample resources, what else you want to establish?
What else? Sorry, I didn't hear it.
Given if there are no time constraints and no time and resources constraints, what else would you like to establish?
Ah, oh, that's nice. So yeah, if I would have like unlimited resources or unlimited time, I think my personal passion would be to create like an animal sanctuary. So this I would really like a lot, and especially as I said, probably something for marine environment, because the sea nowadays it's so important for us, and we often treat it like, okay, we throw in a lot of garbage and we take out a lot of life to feed everyone. And if we continue like this, for example, our ocean's going to be empty by 2040, which is not so far away anymore. So yeah, I think this is a bit of my personal passion project. I mean, in the end, there's so many things you can do in the world, and there's so many problems where one can contribute to. But yeah, I kind of like picked a bit this because I have such a big heart for animals, I would say, and I love to be in the sea. So if I would have unlimited time, I think it would be a project kind of dedicated to that.
Okay, now it's a bit naughty side. Okay, what mischiefs that you still like to do, and what mischiefs you enjoyed in while you were a young girl and in your college university time, and now how do you make your time fun now?
Well, I think doing mischiefs in was very limited for me as a kid because I had a strict German dad, so there was not so much room for mischiefs. I think the craziest thing I did, I some at some point when I was 14, I colored my hair a bit purple. That was the naughtiest thing I did ever. So yeah, not so not so many crazy stories there. But yeah, for now, like if I want to do something for fun, I love to travel. So this is for me always great. And I always love to spend time with friends, going for a drink on a Friday evening here, especially in summer, if I can go to a bar and yeah, just enjoy time with my friends, my family, my partner. I think that's for me the best way to spend my free time and have fun.
Okay, given the opportunity to travel to Pakistan, would you consider it?
Um, I'm not sure because right now the information about Pakistan as a country to travel towards to is limited. So in Europe or Germany, I don't get to see a lot of advertisement, or I don't hear a lot about people that go to travel there. So I would definitely do some research first because I don't know how the situation at the moment is in Pakistan. If it's, for example, safe for me to come, what are the places I would want to see? I heard a lot about Pakistan, like on Instagram or something, of like from some solo travelers hiking or walking through Pakistan and meeting the people. And what I heard there was that they are very friendly and welcoming and very hospitable. But yeah, I guess we are in Europe always seeing like so many news about like the whole Middle East region, that it's like be careful when you go there, etc. So yeah, I think there's a bit of a superstition here that would make me definitely check first out, like I need to learn more about the country before I go somewhere.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's really fair enough. The best thing is that Pakistan and Germany has had amazing relationship, bilateral relationship, economic and political, and other also. There have been time since the birth of Pakistan, since it came to being, and till today, we've got extremely awesome relationship with Germany. You got embassy here in Islamabad, and you can always check on that. But yes, I mean there are exceptions there. We over here, you can come over, you can have fantastic, but I mean for sure, you check, first check on the data, check on news, check on your own embassy, your own resources. That's amazing. But yes, this is hospitality is there, and we've got some problems too. I mean, I'll be fair. I'm not asking that this is a super one, but there are lots of rumor also there. There are a few stories, true, but not all stories which are against Pakistan. Just because all countries do have their own uh, policies, they keep on uh, throwing dust on others. But I mean, asking there's okay, but fairly, yes, you're very on the right track. But I'll be welcoming you. I'll be hosting you. You can be my guest. You can come with the partner too, and we'll host you both, and we'll provide you security, super security. Not only your own embassy, but also we've got the for foreigners we have security arrangements too here in Pakistan. Since you're working on climate and you're working with Matt, there is one chapter in Islamabad. Although I was going through, I'm a member of that too in Matt, and that's how I found you there. So from not from that group, but I mean, since I was requesting people to be featured on my show, I wanted to talk just because right now we are in situation of flood. Every time when there are a lot of rains, there are a lot of floods, and that's where I mean I really look forward this forward community to drop in an Islamabad chapter of the what should work a lot for this. Again, now coming to since I mean okay, my last, I'm heading to the last questions. Thank you so much. Okay, I was just reading about the note. I mean, there's noise, and I gonna just check on that. This okay. Could you tell me your most an experience that when you remember it gets you lots of power when you were young, like getting a job, like standing first in your class, securing a good position, good grades in while you're studying, and then you say when you were a young girl, you might have some athletes, some athletics, some some sports, some games, and then you coming to the corporate world, winning a job, securing a job, and then showing up yourself and doing something incredible, and then for sure forward is amazing. That's already, that gives you a lot of power. Could you get me a few examples, few instances?
Um, I would say for me, what always was driving me was that I want to be. I mean, I only have this one life, so I want to live it according to my own conditions. So I never try to, like, of course, for example, my parents, they can encourage me, they can tell me what they think is right for me, but in the end it's my life and I will always know best. So I always tried to live by this, to become independent. And the best way to do this, I figured out early, was to learn a lot, to have the knowledge, to get the ability. Then by this I'm free then to do whatever I want with this knowledge, and to just to get as many skills as I can. If I need them then in the end or not is something else, but just if it's interesting for me, maybe I can learn about it. And I think there was also like an early, let's say, motivational experience was when I was still at school, and no matter which grade I would bring home, my dad always used to say, "Oh, good, but you can do better. It was not the best." So back then, I was super frustrated by it. And I was like, come on, I'm trying so hard already. Give me some credit. But in the end, looking back now, I'm thankful for him that he did that, because it kind of raised a bit of my stubbornness. And I just wanted to prove him that I can do it. And that's how I ended up being best of class in my school. So because I just wanted to show him, and tell him like, see, cannot be better anymore. I think that was really empowering. And then also when I was finding my bachelor study, and people told me like, oh, you cannot do it because it's going to be so expensive and your family is not going to pay for it. And I said, okay, yes, but should I don't want to give up now. This is what I want. This is the career path I want to take. And that's why I tried just to find other ways. And I again educated myself on, okay, what other ways are there to finance my studies. And that's how I came up with this combination from taking the bank credit and um, applying for this sponsorship from the university. And this combined, afterwards, I remember I was so proud when I got the call that I was accepted to the sponsorship. Plus, I got accepted by the bank that they would give me this credit. And it felt like a great achievement. And this then motivated me also to continue. And it also motivated me to go to university because I knew how much I had to pay for it. So I was like, I'm not going to miss a single class of this because I paid for that. And then afterwards, yeah, also to have then the first job and being able then to pay back my bank for this. And once I finished like this whole circle, yeah, it gave me motivation because I found like, okay, I came up with this by myself. And despite people told me it's going to be hard, you won't have any free time, you have to take an extra job, you will have to pay all of this back, I was stubborn enough to do it. And I think this is a great motivation because it just showed me, okay, I can achieve it. Even sometimes if things are hard, there's a way if you want to do it.
Wow. Okay, Alina, given the chance, if you at all you're empowered, so you go time machine and you go back to the future, and what's that you want to change?
In my past, you mean?
Yeah.
I think nothing, because every I always have this philosophy that everything that happened in my past led me to where I am now, and everything was good for a reason. So I just would do it like that.
Wow, really? That's, I mean, that's question replies, and what I analyze out of it is really satisfying life and very happy girl you are. That's amazing. I'm really happy for this. Again, now what's that you can do for the ladies, the younger ladies, and the new ones who in the underserved communities, less privileged societies, and the for like. the segment of the society, what's that you could can do to empower them?
Mm, I think what is there, like I feel it's always often, especially for young women or girls, it's to give them confidence. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you need to be, especially nowadays, you are the main and most important supporter of yourself. So if you get the confidence, then you can achieve so much. So I think this is something I, yeah, can support with. But then, of course, it always depends on the people and the community, because I don't know them. Like, my life situation is different than other life situations, for example. So I can only tell like what I have to offer, but I cannot say if it's then in the end helpful. Like I said, like I'm good in like this confidence coaching. I'm good in personal financial management. I would say, with paying back this debt, etc. So this is something I have a lot of knowledge in, and then also nutrition. So what is a good way to eat? What is a healthy way to eat? What are the benefits of eating less meat, and how can you get enough protein with plants also. So yeah, this kind of knowledge, I guess I could share.
That's amazing. If since I also mentor, there are I've got some mentees too, and I mentor them. What if you want to feature a series of podcasts or series of these programs for all these that you're telling me, like confidence building for the younger ladies. And just because I since I'm reporting you live from uh, a village. I mean, this is a far, like 120 kilometers from Islamabad, and there are a lot others too in this area, this part of the world. So what if some of my students, a lady, young lady, could reach you, or somebody can reach you for the confidence building one, and for the happy healthy food, or anything else you want to inspire about. So is there any chance that we can uh, get a program of the series of podcasts, like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever time you have, on weekends, on some the late night, or like early morning, whatever time suits you, or like could be weekly, could be like could be fortnightly, or could be monthly. This is your call.
Yeah, I think I mean, we can discuss it for sure. Like, if there's a way we can do something like that. Also, depending a bit on like what the interests are and how you kind of envision such sessions. So yeah, definitely, let's discuss it.
Okay, now my very tough question: how European girls find their partner? I mean, what do you want? What do you see in somebody choosing your life partner, that you want to spend whole life with someone? What do you choose? What should a girl around the globe should see in some guy before she decides to spend her entire life with?
That's an interesting question. Yeah, I would definitely say check that he has a good heart and that he's honest and that you find someone that treats you as a partner and not as a provider to you. What I mean by this, so if, for example, you have different roles in your relationship, but if you provide something for him, by example, you cook, you clean, you make him a beautiful home, expect something back. So it should always be even. You are not a servant or someone that is just like an accessory to the man. It should be equal. And I think as a European or German, for me personally, I can only say I value a lot honesty and someone who has a warm heart. And I think this is something you can see and feel fast when you have a partner and you meet someone. So always listen to your gut feeling and not what others tell you. If you think he's the right for you, then yes. If you think he's not the right for you, then don't listen to the others. listen to your heart always.
Wow, the simplest the one is a hard decision. I mean, listen to you. Huh, this is amazing. Okay, when you've got differences, since I mean, since human beings do have differences, just because of the background knowledge, experience, observation, and a lot of other points are there, factors are already there. How do you reconcile?
Like how I try to overcome the differences with my partner.
Yeah.
Communication. It's always important to communicate. And I know sometimes it's hard to share what you feel or why you feel a certain way. And I also have this trouble, of course, but I feel it's always the best to be honest. Like, not only say that you are upset, but really share the reason behind it, why. And also ask your partner, like, listen, why something you did maybe angered him or the other way around. So if you really talk about it and put a bit like each other's ego aside, then you can come always to the root cause of the misunderstanding or the, I don't know, the differences you have. And I think then it's a good way to find a middle ground and just accept that people are different. And as long as you find a way where you both can agree on, then it's good.
Thank you, Elena. Now this is like freeway. I mean, you can just go on any speed. Now, yeah, a couple of minutes, last ones. Those things I could not ask. Please, I mean, if you want to express anything, do tell.
Me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
No,
I
you're
mean,
no,
we
you're the guest. You're the host, and you're
yeah,
everything.
I
Nobody
think
else.
we covered a lot of ground, from work, from experience over climate and sustainability to relationships. So yeah, it was pleasure to be on your show. I think it's great to have someone like you out there trying to inspire people with different guests. So heads up for that, and oh, thumbs up for that. super super nice. I was super grateful to be here and be part of your podcast. And everyone that listened to it, I hope you could find some inspiration on it and have some ideas. And yeah, I wish you all the best.
Lena, thank you so much. I don't have words for your time, and since this was your first podcast and the first ever appearance on this live show, so I'll be featuring you live again also, and I'll be connecting you offline too. So this is just a beginning of great start. What I am doing, I am podcasting change makers. You're a change maker. Since I mean, you're the first person who's doing what you love. You're since if be it breadwinning, that's you're working professionally, be it the noble cause for forward community you're doing. So you are the fulfilled person. I ask you a question. If you're given the chance and you are sitting in time machine, you go back to the future or in your past, and if you could change something, you said no. I mean, this was superb. That makes me so happy that you have such a fulfilling life. You have had it, you're having it, and you're gonna have for sure. So you're the person who've got no complexes. You are so plain, kind heart, and I want you to replicate yourself, make more, a lot of million clones of your personality. Yeah, give these characteristics, these thinking, and this whatever you've got, please do make short videos, long videos, whatever, whenever you have time. You just switch on, I mean, put your phone in front of yourself and talk for a few minutes or whatever time you want to, and just upload on your Instagram, on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook. And you've got a lot of things to inspire about. Like, I mean, you are a nature lover, you are bird lover, you are animal lover, you love the climate, and you're ocean lover, you love waters, and I mean, you want to keep yourself close to this oceans. And most of all, you are next to God. Like, anybody who loves cleanliness, to me, cleanliness is next to godliness. And thank you so much, Lena, for gracing my show. I thank you, and I cannot thank you enough for your time. You've been gracious. I'll keep connecting you. Thank you so much, lady.